There are some awkward moments in life that are pretty universal, trying to get out of somebody's way and you both move in the same direction. When you say bye to someone and then you both walk in the same direction to your car. Or even something like seeing somebody in the grocery store that you really don't want to see. But in my life, there are certain awkward moments that are very specific to being disabled. And so we're going to talk about those today. Hello, ye lads, lasses, and anyone in between. My name's KP, aka Sir Legless Lad. Since you're here, please give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Really helps my videos get out to more people. And if you really like this video and you want to see more amazing content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can get a notification every time I post a new video every Thursday, or lately it's been Friday. Don't judge me. Yeah, there are some very awkward moments that I've had that are pretty darn specific to being disabled. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you these examples, and then each one is going to get an emoji of some kind, and then I'm also going to give it a ranking out of 10. And with that, let's just get into it. This first one happens, I know, with the greatest of intentions, but it just comes off weird and awkward. And that is people just doing things for me without asking me. And this includes things like taking things out of my hand that I'm holding. Like, oh, let me help you with that. Like, no, leave me alone. It's one thing if people ask me beforehand, like, oh, do you need help with that? That I appreciate. Then I can be like, no. Or if I really do need help, I can just say, yeah, that would be great, thank you. But when people just take things away from me, that's very annoying. I'm obviously not struggling with this. So for that, I'm gonna give it this emoji, and then I'm gonna be giving this a 2 out of 10. Not a fan. Next awkward moment, pretty much any time I have to shake somebody's hand, which is often, because when people meet me, they don't know what to do with this hand. Just shake it. It's really not as difficult as you're making it seem. I'm sure I've had other people tell me in the past that, like, they were worried they were gonna hurt my hand if they squeezed it too hard or something like that, and like, it's not fragile. The worst, or maybe the best, depending on how you look at it, is when somebody puts their hand out for a handshake, and then I go for the handshake, and then halfway between our hands meeting, they end up closing it to a fist and fist bumping me. And this isn't like high schoolers doing this to me or kids. These are like 60-year-old adults. I don't know what part of our meeting made you think that I would want to fist bump you, but okay. And it's happened on multiple occasions. So for fist bumping a handshake, you get this aha emoji, and I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. What are some awkward moments you've had that are specific to you? Either having to do with your job or the way you look or something. Like, let me know in the comments down below, because I like hearing about other people's awkward moments. Speaking of shaking hands, this next one is a very specific incident. For those of you who don't know, which is probably most of you, in high school during freshman and sophomore years, I was on the wrestling team at my school, and don't be impressed by that. I was really bad. I didn't win any matches. But there was one specific wrestling meet. We went through the whole thing, and then, afterwards, in most sports, you go across and you high five everybody on the other team. You go down the line, and I get to the end of the line, and this kid backs up and goes, I don't want to shake your hand. You can probably tell it still makes me mad to this day, because I'm assuming that this kid had no issues with anybody else. It was just me. So that one gets this angry emoji and a 0 out of 10, because I'm still a little bitter about it. In high school, I did performances, obviously. I think it was sophomore year of high school. I was in a show, and we had to go to this costume shop that was just down the street from the school and get our costume. It would be sent to the school, and it was all going to be taken care of. So here's this one, go try it on and come back out and we'll see how it looks. And so I go in, I'm changing, and then I come back out, and this has long sleeves, and it was, I don't know, barely covering my hands. So I'm just sitting there, you know, with my, just sitting like this, whatever, not a big deal. And this lady comes up to me, and she says, "Oh wow, how did they get your hands to look like that?" And I was like, these are my hands. And she just goes, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, and then just like runs away. And I never saw her again, but it was one of those moments where it just happened so fast, I didn't even know what to think about it. I wasn't offended, and it's hilarious now, because it was hilarious in the moment too, because I'm just like, what? So that one, I'm going to be giving surprised emoji, and I'm going to give it 11 out of 10. After I finish telling my life story to someone, every so often I get somebody who says, "Oh, I feel sorry for you." And to that I say, "Why? I don't feel sorry for me. Like, I'm out here living my whole life. I don't need you to feel sorry for me. I'm doing everything that I need to and everything I want to. And there's nothing really stopping me." It's one of those things where it's like, I know you mean well, but that's a terrible thing to say to somebody. And most of the time, like, people with disabilities don't want you to feel sorry for them. And when people say things like, "Oh, I feel sorry for you," it feels very othering, and it's just like unneeded. And so for that, this one gets an eye roll emoji and 2 out of 10. Every once in a while, I'll get stopped by somebody and they'll thank me for my service. And this is just like, thank you, but I'm not a veteran. It's just very awkward. And I usually tell people right away, it's like, "Oh, I'm actually not a veteran." And it kind of clears up pretty quickly, but it's just one of those like, thank you, but like thanks, but no thanks, because that's not me. And I give a lot of respect for people who are in the military. It's just not me, and I don't claim to be. So for that, this is this awkward emoji, and then I'm gonna give that a 4 out of 10 because I know people are trying to be nice. Probably some of my favorite awkward moments are when my leg just flies off of me. It doesn't happen anymore because of the type of prosthetics I have now, but before, there wasn't much holding onto them, so all I had to do was kick a little extra hard and they would just... There's been multiple occasions. The earliest one was probably before I was even in school. I don't know. My family, we were at my sibling's soccer game, so my mom and I were just kicking a soccer ball back and forth, you know, having fun. And there was one, I just went for a big kick, and the ball went, and so did my leg, and I fell. And so my mom comes over like, "Oh no," like, and she turns me over, and I'm just cracking up because it's hilarious. Like, there was another time where I was with my friend Dylan, probably in like junior high, and I don't know, we were doing some kind of karate game or fighting something. I decided to do a roundhouse kick, but I roundhouse kicked too hard and my leg just went whew. The only thing that would make that story any better is if I had actually hit him with the leg when I did the roundhouse kick. And so for having great stories and making me laugh, we get the crying laughing emoji and 13 out of 10. One time I was at the gym and we were doing these exercises. There was a plate on the ground and you had to put your hands on it and then push it all the way across on a turf. For me, that's much easier with my legs off. It's just way off balance if they're on. So I decided that it would be much easier to just do the whole thing with my legs off instead of like putting them off and on again. So, you know, I'm doing my thing, and at the end of this workout, you know, we're in the huddle. The coach is saying like, oh, good job everyone, it was a good workout, and let's give an extra round of applause for KP. And I'm just like, why? I don't like this. I personally am not a fan of extra recognition for doing what everybody else is doing. And it's one of those things where it's like, I know you mean well, and I know this is a really nice thing that you're doing, but also, why? And so I'm not saying that I don't like attention on myself, but I don't like attention on myself for doing things that everybody else is doing, because to me, it doesn't feel remarkable. So for that, it's gonna get this awkward, sad emoji, a 3 out of 10, because I'm just very uncomfortable. Speaking about times that I get recognized for doing something that everybody else is doing, every once in a while I'll get, you're such an inspiration. You're so inspirational. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not doing anything. You know, it's along the same lines of like, good for you. Good for you for existing. And you're so inspiring because you're still doing things even though you're disabled. The word inspirational has kind of lost its meaning on me. It's one of those words that I've heard my whole life. It doesn't have the same effect on me as it would anybody else because I've heard it so much. Because people mean well, I'm gonna give it this kind of flat emoji and 5 out of 10. It depends on my mood, so 5. So at, you know, plenty of points in my life, I've taken my legs off in front of other people. What happens? I don't know. It's not like, I'm not shy about it. You know, you just know that eventually there's gonna be somebody who says, can I try it on? It's not gonna fit, but you can try it, I guess. It's funny to me, but it's also kind of weird. People have really gotten creative with how they try them on. You know, sometimes I get the people who will put their arms in the legs, and then they'll just like walk like an elephant. That's always fun. Or some people, it's like you can put your foot in there, but it's not really gonna fit, and you're not gonna be very comfortable in it. So that one, I'm gonna give a confused emoji and 11 out of 10. It doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while I'll get a kid who is just terrified of me, like screaming and running away. It's obviously not a great feeling. I don't want kids to be scared of me. I don't want anybody to be scared of me. I'm not really a scary person. At least I don't like to think so. And there's one moment in particular that just really sticks out in my mind, and my mom will remember this too. We went over to a family friend's house, and she had family over, and there was this one girl who saw me and quite literally screamed and ran away and like ran towards whoever, and everybody was just like, oh, that's so cute, like, oh, poor her. And I'm like, poor her? What? Nobody's gonna try and explain that this isn't a scary thing and I'm not somebody that she should be scared. Take this moment to explain to her that I'm not somebody to be scared of. You're not gonna take this opportunity to calm her down and also make me feel better in the process. And it was one of those things where it's like, my mom and I were only there for a little bit, and we talked about it in the car, and we were just both like, what the heck just happened? It's just insensitive. And so for that, you get a flat face emoji and 1 out of 10 because the girl was very young, so she gets a little bit of a pass, but not much. Every once in a while I'll be talking to somebody and they'll say something, I don't know, about me doing something, or I'll be like, oh, sorry, I hit your foot, or I don't know, something like that. And it's like, I don't have feet. Oh yeah, like, I forgot that you're disabled. Or I forgot that you don't have feet. And in my mind, I'm kind of like, what do you mean you forgot? How do you forget that I'm disabled? And it's right in front of you. But at the same time, it feels nice because it's like, they're acknowledging me as a person, and being disabled is just one small part of who I am. And so it's nice that they don't see my whole identity as being disabled. And so for that, it's like kind of awkward, but also I like it and it makes me feel good. So for that, you get a happy blush face and 15 out of 10. With that last one, that's gonna wrap up this video. thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. So, Sir Legless Lad, out.